numbered or anything. Okay, it says at the top, Precal A period 5 is tops. Okay, that's the one we're looking at. Back a long time ago, we had periods that were numbered instead of letters. And we're going to do anything you want on this sheet, but we're going to do calculator problems first. So we're going to do 17, 18, and 19. Your test is no calculator, except for the last page, one side of the page. And in fact, I think there's only one real problem back there. There's a bonus back there too. But that's what you need to calculate. So let's practice. This problem says, find the relative max. Okay? So let's type in the equation. Actually, why don't you just scribble on with this? So just type in this equation, 9x to the third. And we remember that to type in x to the third, we use that key right there, right? So 9x to the third minus 8x plus 5.
Find relative.
Now, we're going to find the maximum. I've been messing with my window in the last period class, so I'm going to zoom 6. That just brings back my standard window. And when I do that, it's not a great picture.
I failed to remind you that there's max for tackle at 11:50 without a dummy if you would like to join us. Thank you.
So I got something that looked like this. Did you? This would be my relative maximum. Now, the reason the word relative is there is because what does this picture do over here on this side? It goes up forever. So is there an absolute maximum? No. But there is a relative maximum, which is all we call a top of a hill. A top of a hill. Okay?
If it is looking for absolute max,
You would say none.
okay, non-infinity.
None. There, if it's shooting up the space, there is no high point. Relative, here we go. Second calc max. Set my bounds. And it looks like the maximum is what point? Negative 544, 7.903. There is my relative maximum. Now let's skip down to 19 and do the same thing. Only more questions here. So we've got this guy right here. And we're going to find the relative max, relative min, absolute max, absolute min, and the zeros. Alright, so let's type this guy in. X to the third. You get something to look like that?
Yeah.
Now, it's important that you recognize that these arrows are here. You don't see them on your calculator, but they're here, right? So tell me about absolute minimum. None. Absolute means the lowest point on the graph. And does this curve have a lowest point on the graph? No. How about absolute maximum?
No.
None. I have relative max and min for sure, but no absolute. Now, let's suppose our picture had been different and it had looked like this. absolute minimum, agreed?
Yes, absolutely.
But there is an absolute maximum because there is a high point, right? A highest point. Now, what about this guy? He's a relative maximum. And this guy is actually a relative minimum. Tops of hills, bottoms of valleys. Okay? All right, back to our picture. So there's no absolutes in this one. See if you can find the relative max and the relative min. See if you can find those for this picture. You have to look separately, unfortunately. My max, I got negative 0.120, comma 6.061. Anybody else get that? Jake says yeah. And how about minimum? I got 2.786 and negative 6.209.
Or like, is there like a certain place that we go down to?
The AP curriculum stipulates thousands, so I'm kind of in that mode. So unless the directions say otherwise, go with thousands. Do those numbers look okay though?
Yeah.
All right, now zeros. Where are the zeros, guys? The zeros are the x-intercepts. All right, so you know how to find those. Same place, second calc, 0.
I was a relative max negative.
Well, the x coordinates are here. Yeah, it's over here, right?
Oh.
The x coordinates.
This is 4.
Yeah,
When we write the zeros, you just want the just x equals and then just
yeah, you can do that, or you can make it in ordered pair. But if it's a 0, the y coordinate's always going to be 0.
Right, when we choose.
Alright, here's what I got for my zeros. I'd like some confirmation from somebody in case I typed something wrong.
Yeah, it looks right.
Are you even typing it in?
Yeah, I already did it.
Okay, good. Alright, so we okay with that? We got a couple where once we just had to find the maximum, and over here we had to find a whole bunch of stuff. We're okay with that? Alright, let's look at problem 18 then, because this is different. Problem 18. So we're going to go into Stat Edit, and this is going to be L1. L2, and remember, if you've already got stuff in there and you want to get rid of it, if you arrow up and highlight L1, for example, hit clear and enter, it will empty that out for you. And then do the same thing with L2 if you need to. What? Huh? Okay, so I'm getting my numbers in. Now, I'm going to ask you to think for just a moment here. I can either plot these points on my calculator using stat plot, or I can just think about them for a minute. The curve is going to be either linear or quadratic. That's all we've talked about so far. Okay, linear and quadratic. If you look at these points, notice that these are going up by 1. At least these first few are going up by 1. This one goes up by 3, and then this one goes up by 7, and this one goes up by 11. That is not linear, because if you are linear, rise over run is the same. So they would all have to be going up 5 or something. So if you're comfortable with that, my choices are it's a line or it's a parabola. Looking at how variable, how varying these are, I'm going to think it's a parabola. So I'm going to go to Stat, Calc, and then go down to Quadratic Regression. And it tells me that my equation is going to look like this. And A is 2, and B is -3, and C is 0. So there's my equation for that set of data.
How'd you get there?
Okay, we went through this before, guys. I'm not going to reteach it. Look back at your notes. Look at it one more time. I press Stat, go over to Calc, and go down to Quadratic, because I have figured out that this is a quadratic regression. And then some of you need to like click calculate or something on yours. Mine doesn't. I just hit enter and it comes up. Okay? And it says, write the equation of the function. Right there it is. Right there. It is. Now, let's look back on the other side of that paper. So on the review sheet I gave you, that has a heart with a period 5 in it. Let's look at problem 12. Problem 12. Teachers with 1 year of experience write 1 infraction per week. So 1 year, 1 infraction. 2 years, they write 3. 6 years, they write 12. And 7 years, they write 18. Question is, what if they had 12 years? Well, if I use these 2 points, the slope would be 3 minus 1 over 2 minus 1. It would be 2 over 1.
Yep.
But what if I use these 2 points? 12 minus 3 over 6 minus 2, that slope would be different. And if I use these 2 points, that would be 6. That would be 6. 18 minus 12, 7 minus 6. I don't think this is linear. Because these would all have to be the same, right? Or at least close. Okay, so it's not linear. Therefore, it must be quadratic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in my 4 points. Don't put that one in because you don't know what it is. So go ahead and put in, so I'm gonna stat, edit. I gotta clear out the old. Put in the new. You only have 4 points this time. And then stat, calc, quadratic. And it looks like 0.4x squared minus 0.546x plus 1.685. Anybody else get that? I could have typed in a number wrong.
I got that.
You got that? Okay. All right. Now, if it said, like this one did, write the equation, this would be the equation, agreed? But that ain't what it says. It says, what if I have 12 years of experience? Okay, so now what am I gonna do? I'm gonna plug in 12 right here. So 0.4 times 12 squared minus 0.546 times 12 plus 1.685. Oh my goodness gracious. 12 years of experience, I'm gonna write about 52 to 53 of them, right? I'll just say 53, that's the clearest. It's about 53. If you said about 52, I'm not gonna argue with you. Just for fun, let's do me. Put a 44 in there. Yeah. Crazy. Oh my golly. 752 of them a week, I'm behind.
180 a day.
Yeah. All right. While we're on this page, let's do 11, because that's another calculator problem. And then we'll stop with the calculator and do some other stuff. Let's do number 11 on this page. Okay, so number 11. We're going to find a relative max and min. Let's go ahead and do absolute max and min today. Alright, come on guys, let's get this done before lunch. Everybody should be typing. Charlie, I'm not sure where you're sitting at lunch. This is number 11 on the sheet with the heart with the period 5 in it. Right above the teacher problem that we just did. And we're going to find all this stuff for both of these pictures. So, y equals this equation.
Are we typing in code?
One at a time. We're doing 2 problems, but they're separate. We're not looking for where they intersect. We want to see their high points and low points. Uh-oh. messed with my window a little bit, did you?
Yeah.
To see anything here? And I got something that looks like this.
My calculator is invalid.
Well, I'm not sure how your window is set.
It's not that.
Like that?
It's not that.
It's not getting invalid.
It's like this.
I need to type it again. I got the wrong thing typed in. There we go. Oh, yeah. That's much better than what I had for sure.
Negative 50 for the quad. Quad middle. This one's got change.
There we go. Is that what yours looks like, Dan? Sorry about that. Gotta type the equation in right. Tell me about these two.
There's none.
We don't have any. Because anytime the curve is shooting down into space, there won't be an absolute minimum. And it's shooting up into space, so there won't be an absolute maximum. However, I do see the relative maximum. So let's go ahead and find that. I hope you guys are doing something over here. I'll just chatting. What's
It's telling me
happening?
invalid.
We're not going to lunch.
See the line is
This one, I got, negative 4.894, comma, negative 14.251.
Which one?
I don't know.
I don't think that's right. It's negative 3.4.
I don't know what I did.
Maybe that's for the other one.
No, I don't think so.
I got.
I know exactly what I did. I pressed maximum, but then found an error. Okay, this should be, how does negative 3.44 sound?
Yeah. 4.2.
And 2.147?
Yeah. And that was 0.775.
I'm gonna go ahead and try it on my own.
Oh, that's better. You.
I got 0.775 and negative 35.32.
or that might be
Anybody else get that?
Yeah, I got that.
All right, one more. I'm gonna answer the same questions for this guy, so here we go. Change my equation, try to get it typed in right. Okay, this one is a parabola, would you agree?
Yeah.
So tell me about absolute maximum.
None.
There is no absolute max.
Only thing there is relative minimum.
How about relative max?
None.
None. How about absolute minimum? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
There is one out.
That guy right here, isn't he the absolute lowest point on the graph?
Absolutely.
And he would also be the relative minimum. They are the same point.
So one. Can we just put that as one? One, we round it.
Yes, that's one. So 1, negative 2 is your absolute minimum point and your relative minimum point. Does everybody get that this is both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relative min means the bottom of a valley. Absolute min means the lowest point on the whole graph. Okay, in this case, they happen to be the same. Okay? All right, when we come back, we will do whatever other review you want to do. If you're having calculator issues, stay here right now and let's get that straightened out.